Joy Prime, the ultimate experience.
All right, so good morning to our listeners on Joy 99.7, that's in Accra. And of course, those of you who are listening to us here in Kumasi on, Love 99.5, we say welcome to a very special conversation that's about to come your way. We're also live on the Joy News and Joy Prime channels on Multi TV. On Friday, there was a very beautiful contest. It was the finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz. It was held at the Great Hall here in Kumasi. And at the end of the competition, we had Prempeh College emerging as winners. Now, with me this morning in the studios of Love 99.5, I have these young, great students who's done their school proud and done the region proud as well. They are Eden, Nanache, Obeng, Evans, Opong, and Abdul Majid Abdullah. Guys, good morning to you, and I believe that congratulations is in order. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Listen, I want to feel your energy. When you guys were on stage answering questions and doing all those things, you had a lot of energy in you. So let me feel the energy, okay? Okay, so before I come to the students, let me first of all engage with the quiz mistress, and she's also with us, Professor Elsie Ifa Kaufman. Hi, Mom. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
So these are your kids, and they've done you and the organizers proud. First of all, I'd like to know from you, what do you make of this year's competition? How keen would you say it was?
Oh, this year was very keen. Sometimes the scores don't reflect actually what happens on stage. And so when you look at the final scores, you may think there was an okay contest, but every contest was very keen.
If you compare it to previous years, you say that this year was keener than previous years?
I wouldn't say that. Some years are very tough, where you have 1 point making a difference between the second place school and the winners. Those are very difficult years. And
I don't envy you at all, because there are occasions when I watch you on television and it looks as if you're having a hard time with controlling the supporters, especially during the finals. Tell me about that. Because I look at you and I'm wondering what she's thinking about.
I'm thinking about doing a professional job. I'm thinking about surviving the contest also. Because when the crowd is that loud, I want the questions to be answered. So I want the contestants to hear the questions. But when they are so loud, it's difficult for everyone to hear. It's difficult for the contestants to hear. It's difficult for me to listen to their responses and make my decisions. But it has to get done. And so I tend to shout above the crowd, and that's very painful for my throat. Oh, so I'm constantly sucking on these
lozenges.
Yes. And it's painful. It's painful. So it gets to a point where I just have to relax a bit and allow the audience to do their thing for a while before we continue.
So let's focus a bit on the competition, shall we? And I would like to know from you, for example, you look at the contestants themselves and they're eager to win. And they are prepared to do whatever it takes to win. How does that make you feel?
I feel proud that I'm part of something this big. I feel happy that I'm able to interact with such bright minds. I feel happy that we have people who are so passionate about something. Yes, but I also worry about the other side of it, the lack of integrity that comes with wanting to win at all costs. So I'm hoping that the coaches are also training them in character development.
What's the challenge with that bit? What would you want to see done in that direction?
That a competition like this is a high-stakes competition, yes, so go and compete, but do it fairly. Do it fairly. Don't try to get an unfair
Because I realized that there was an occasion you had to deduct some 5 marks or so from one of the contestants.
It happens almost every year. There's a school that decides to flout the rules, and I am there to make sure that they don't get an unfair advantage.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Let's also take a look at this young girl from Kita Senior High Technical, Francisca, I think that's her name.
Yes.
And I look at her and sometimes I sit back and I'm like, oh, one day she might be a quiz mistress like yourself. What do you make of her and her abilities?
Oh, she's amazing. I mean, to be that bold, and we had not had a female in the finals for 8 years, and there she was doing her thing, very confident, giving out answers. I was happy to see her. She did very well, yes, and I hope she does well in life.
Let me turn my attention to one of the organizers who is also with us this morning, Nana Ikuya Ankoma Asari. She's with Primetime. Hi, good morning to you too.
Good morning.
So, keenly contested, we have a winner. But when, you sit back, as somebody who's organizing this event, how do you feel seeing what they put into this whole, contest or competition?
Well, it makes us really happy and makes us proud. We think that we have caused a revolution in science education in Ghana, or STEM education, if you'd like to call it that. And it makes us really happy that people are taking it very seriously. You would be really surprised to find out what some of the schools do to keep their students in top form, like what we see them do on stage.
Share some with us. What are some of the things they do?
From giving them special meals and special dormitories, and in some schools they don't even do housework.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
They need to concentrate and study.
Exactly. In some schools, Saturday entertainment is Brilla. That's what they have for entertainment. So while others are dancing, doing Rex night, that's what they are doing. They do all sorts of things. Some have a league table. Some have old students coming in, moving in to teach them and prepare them for the competition. They do all sorts of things to prime their students for the competition.
What do you think this whole
see
competition is doing for these young ones? I mean, yes, they come prepared, they come answering questions. Some of the questions we don't even understand the head or tail of it. All I said sometimes, I sit down and I'm like waiting for the quiz minister to say correct or wrong. That's all I'm waiting for, to see who's getting what.
Right.
What, aside from they learning, they imbibing knowledge and all, what is this competition doing for them?
A whole lot of things. You know, this competition is high stakes, as Prof. Kofferman put it. And so everybody wants to put their best foot forward, which means that they undergo a lot of training. So apart from the knowledge gaining, they learn how to be disciplined. You cannot participate or do well in this competition without discipline, because you have to study a lot, you have to be focused and prepare properly. So they camp them during vacations and term time. So you are studying all the time. And that builds discipline, because you have to be self-motivated too. Apart from all of these, we have specific things we are looking out for with the rounds. So in the riddle, for example, it teaches you to think very widely, but also to think very quickly, because the clues determine what your scores are. The speed race, for example, is another one that encourages you to think very quickly. You have to learn shortcuts to solving the questions, because they don't use calculators on stage. So you have to learn to be able to calculate these things in a short space of time. So they learn all of these things. They learn to be diligent, because you have to be diligent about your studies or you cannot do well in this competition. And they learn to work as a team. When you go, further in life, even with us here, at work, you are not working alone. You are working with other people, and you must learn to get along. They say teamwork makes the dream work. Exactly, and these are some of the things that they are learning. So even those who do not go far enough to win awards or prizes, they certainly gain these values and skills. And
how would you say Kumasi, or Greater Kumasi for that matter, has received the competition? How did you feel when you realized that, Charlie, this is Kumasi and everybody was following the contest and all that?
It was very nice. It was very nice. In fact, the semi-final between which had Prempeh and KNUST and Opokuwari, it was like a final. It was like a final with the attendant crowd control issues outside the hall and inside the hall. It was fantastic to see. And for us moving from Accra to Kumasi and seeing the same, or even in some ways greater passion for the competition than we've seen in Accra.
So should we keep our fingers crossed, hoping that next year we'll have you guys back to Kumasi?
We'll see. We'll see.
What would it take for us to have you guys back? What would it take? What would it take?
We'll see about that. We'll see about that. But it's not off the table. We've had a good time. I think it was a very good move, and it's been as impactful as we thought it would be.
So hold on for me. I'll come back to you shortly for us to continue our conversation. Let me now address these brilliant young men who've done their school proud, and also they are what do you call it? They are shanty reaching proud. We'll be engaging with them shortly. If you're watching us If you're watching us live on Facebook, it's on LUV 99.5 FM, and these young lads are here. We'll be engaging with them shortly. But they also have their teacher with them. The teacher is also here with us. We'll be engaging with him shortly. I'll call him a coach for these young ones shortly. But Prof, if I may come back to you, Prof, very quickly. Going forward, what would you want to see with this competition? What would you see happen that will make it better, improve it, make it more exciting?
The students are getting better all the time. And the longer we stay with a format, the more they get used to it. I'm beginning to think that they are getting bored with our format. So I would like to see a change in format to challenge them a little bit more. I would also like to see more participation from everyone. You know, the crowds that come and make all that noise, if they learn some science, I'll be very happy.
But we learned something, the palm oil deal, for example.
Oh, is that all?
No, we learned a few things. But again, what do you think it will take for us to have more females, more ladies competing?
that subjects. Well, it has to do with strategy. It has to do with preparation. It has to do with everything that goes into getting the teams in top form. I don't see as much some of the activities that I see the young men doing happening in the girls' schools. You know, the young men start very early. Some schools, first year, they're already selecting. Students decide to go to a school because they want to be on the National Science and Math Quiz team. And they are, right from first year, they are preparing them. I know some girls' schools, I won't mention names, they won't do anything until the last year. They even finish WASI before they start deciding who is coming. And so that kind of lag in preparation is not helping them. That's one thing.
So how do we fix that? I mean, can you engage with their coaches? Can we engage with the school and encourage them, like, listen, you need to start early so you get it right?
Oh, they know, but they need to want to do it. I mean, it's the will. Is the will to do it.
Because I'm excited, like I keep saying, I'm excited about Francisca and what she was able to achieve in this year's edition of the National Science and Math Quiz. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. In the past, I used to talk about confidence and so on. I'm beginning to change my mind. It's not about confidence any longer. Did you see the St. Louis team bringing their chanting? And I mean, I couldn't believe this was a girls' school. This was unheard of when I started doing the Science and Math Quiz. The girls would come sit quietly, a few supporters clap beautifully, and that was this time it was something else. So it's no longer about confidence. I'm beginning to change my mind about that. And so it's the preparation and the strategies they are bringing on board.
Well, this is Love 99.5. We're also live on Joy 99.7, of course, on the Super Morning Show. We're live on Joy Prime and also live on the Joy News Channel, all on multi-TV. We are having a conversation with organizers and, of course, the quiz mistress for the, National Science and Math Quiz. In a bit, we'll be engaging with the students who have done the region and, of course, their school proud. In a bit, we'll be having that conversation with them shortly. But
Joy Prime, the ultimate experience.
Now, before I, zoom into engaging with these students from Prempeh College who have won the 2021 edition of the National Science and Math Quiz, I'd like to engage with George, who is their team leader. And once again, George, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
So I just want to know from you how proud you are of these young ones.
I'm proud for the fact that I'm a coach and I'm a coach who has brought the team to this far. And I've been with the team since the inception of the Science and Math Quiz team. And I've chopped this feat for the past 20-something years that the Science and Math Quiz team came into being. So I'm very proud.
Would you say that some inner wish would be for you to have been coaching Opoku School to have won?
Not necessarily so, but then since the inception of this Science and Math Quiz team, in fact, my wish was to coach the team and chop these laurels. And I've done so, together with my other teachers. So I'm very proud of them.
Very proud. Well, how would you describe these young ones? Because I know it takes a lot of commitment and all.
You see, there are certain traits that you need to possess. Without such traits, you can't win laurels for Prempeh College. these students are humble students, down to earth. They listen to advice. They are studious too. And for that reason, it's no wonder that they've gotten to this far. They are very, very spectacular in terms of whatever things that they do. So I'm proud of them.
How tough would you say you were on them as they prepared for the competition?
Okay, we have timetable that we follow. Almost always, I don't stay on campus, I stay outside school campus. But almost always we have teachers that I direct them to always be on them, wake them up as early as 6, normally at 5 a.m. And then they prepare very well. Normally they don't attend morning assembly because they need time to work by themselves and then get certain things done. So there are teachers who are there with them almost always, and they help them undergo certain things that if my absence wouldn't have caused any harm or any bad thing to them. So almost always they are on their feet working 24/7.
So you say you were tough on them?
Yes.
Very tough on them.
Very tough on them.
Let me throw in this question. So this feat that you've chalked right now, what does it mean to the school? 5-time champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz. What does it mean to the school?
Okay. You see, Prempeh College, let me say this first. Anything made in about this Science and Maths Quiz team is addressed by Prempeh College. Let me first cite an example. The inception, the first trophy was won by Prempeh College. When the team or the quiz was first hosted at National Theatre, it was won by Prempeh College. And then coming down to Ashanti region too. This is the first time. And they've won it. So anything made in about this quiz is won by Prempeh College. So I'm proud of that.
A while ago, I was asking, one of the organizers whether, we should expect the next competition to take place again here in the Ashanti region. And she was like, well, we'll talk about it later. So based on what you're saying right now, you wouldn't want to have it here again. Maybe you would want to have it in a different region.
Definitely. So that we could set another distance. Yes, I would like it to be held somewhere else. So that anything made in is Prempeh College.
But Presec has been able to set a precedent. They are the only school that have been able to win and defend it. You've won it in 2021. What should we expect from you in 2022?
In fact, that time was Brilliant Science and Maths Quiz. Brilliant. This time it's National Science and Maths Quiz. There are two different scenarios altogether.
So what are you saying?
And then since there's a National Science and Maths Quiz came into being, it's only Prempeh College who has won it for the 3rd time. And I'm proud of that.
I see.
Yes.
Let me now focus our attention on these young ones, and their names are Eden Nanache Obeng, Evans Opong, and Abdul Majid Abdullah. Once again, congratulations to you three.
Thank you.
How's it feeling like to be crowned champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz for 2021? How's it feeling like?
Well, it's very exciting, and we've gone through a lot, and also I'm very happy for myself, for the school, and for the region. My teachers, parents, and old boys who came to help.
How confident would you say you were? I mean, the three of you going into the competition, knowing that in the finals you were facing 6-time champions in Presec and a very formidable side in the Kita Senior High Technical School. How confident were you, of your chances in the finals?
Okay, I would say we were very confident, but our confidence had to be in moderation, because you have to be careful not to be overconfident, or else pride will set in and we'll be complacent. Then you also have to be careful not to be underconfident, meaning that we had to have a higher self-esteem, believe in ourselves that we were capable. So that was a little challenge that we were facing, because the level of confidence in this competition is very important. But with God's grace, we were able to do that, maintain our composure, and then at the end we were victors.
Now, between the other two schools, Presec Legon and Kita Senior High Technical, which of the schools were you dreading most? Which of the schools were you watching and saying, this one day they should not be able to beat us another? Which school were you really concentrating on more?
Okay, I wouldn't say we were dreading any particular school, but all the schools had the potential to win, because you would see Kita getting high marks, 68, 53, 60, even in the semi-finals and quarterfinals, where they were meeting equally good schools. They were having such high marks. Presec Legon opened the competition with 70 points, such high marks. So it showed that they all had the potential to win. So we had to look out equally for them, because you might set an eye on a particular school, and then the competition will, at the start of the competition, it would be between the two of you, and then not being aware, the other school would skill just behind you guys, and then again you see they'll be victors. And I've experienced that before, and so we had, so from my experience, I saw that we had to be very careful not to underestimate any school or to set a target for a particular school.
I see. Let me come to you, my brother, here. And at one point in time, from the first round to the third round, it was Presec that was leading. And then you took over, you know, from the fourth round through the fifth round where you won the competition. What was going on in your minds, you know, at that time when you were behind Presec?
Okay, I would say we're feeling normal.
You were not scared. You were not concerned. You were not worried. You were not like, hey, you never fa.
Oh, nah. Okay, we were actually trained psychologically for this event, because one thing about the competition is that if you are afraid, you can't be able to stand in front of the audience, and that would actually affect your mental ability to work on stage, because the fear makes it difficult for you to think. It makes it difficult for you to think through the questions, because you have 10 seconds, 30 seconds to go through these questions. You have focused almost half of your time on the fear. Now you're about to start thinking through the question. But your equally good opponent, who is having much higher control over this fear, having higher confidence, would have had a longer time to think through the question. And I saw that helped us a lot, because if we had feared our opponent, the result wouldn't have been this way.
Maybe it's more of respect than fear. But tell us how preparation towards this contest. Let's stick to the finals. Did you do anything differently? How hectic, how tough, how rough was it like for you preparing for the finals?
Okay, all our major preparations were before we came here. So the semi-finals took place Tuesday, and then the finals took place on Friday. So those 2 days, you wouldn't get lots of time to prepare for the finals, because, and you know, the finals, the questions that are coming, they are much more difficult than the previous levels in the competition. So if you rely on your preparation just at camp, that wouldn't help you that much, because that time it's just revision you are doing. If you haven't learned anything, what are you going to revise? So, but I think our teachers helped us a lot to go through certain things we learned previously, and taught us certain new topics, which actually helped us.
You think the topics, the questions were too tough for you?
Oh, if you want to be a champion, you have to work for the best. So the level of difficulty for the questions, I think it was okay, because it helps you to rise up to the occasion and show who you really are and how best you have really prepared for the occasion.
But let me come to you, George.
Yes.
At the point when some schools were having substitutions done, bringing in fresh people to come and change things, you kept to your first two.
You see, we have trained our boys in such a way that we don't take to substitution. We have confidence in them. It has not been our practice, even though we have the third contestant. But then they are fit for the job. So we don't normally, we've not even done substitution before. And I'm not sure in future we'll be doing it, because normally, always, those that we are choosing are perfectly selected. So we don't have any problem at all with them.
So back to you, what would you say this competition has done for you?
Okay, this competition has trained me very well, not merely academically, but it has also trained me in character development, because just as the managing director of Primetime previously said, you have to be disciplined in order to participate in this competition. Vacations you'll be learning, school times you'll be learning, while your friends will be having fun. Sometimes others might be teasing you, hey, this guy there every day you'll be over books and all those stuff. But at the end, when you see your reward, you raise your head up high and then say, you forget about all the stress and hard times you've been through. And then it also opens up opportunities for us in the future. And we are very glad to Primetime MD for setting up such a nice organization for students to learn about science, and also to develop their characters more.
What have you also learned? What can you share with us?
Yeah, I've learned so many things, both psychologically and physically. I can now stand in front of audience and fears. I have more control over my fear when we are even in a contest. When you are lagging behind, you have to fight in order to get in front again. So I've learned many things, character development and also.
So for young ones who are listening or will be listening later, what would you want to say to them, especially those who have just finished their BEC exams, will be getting into various secondary schools? You know the competitions that are available. Love FM has the high school debate as well, and the National Science and Maths quiz are all available. What would you want to say to these young ones who may be getting into senior high schools? What would you want to say to them?
Okay, I would like to encourage them to follow their dreams, work hard towards achieving it. And also, if you happen to be interested in this National Science and Maths quiz, I would like to encourage you to do your best in all your preparations so that you can emerge as victor.
At what age or stage did you have interest in the National Science and Maths quiz?
I think when I came to SHS1 in Prempeh College.
What made you have the interest?
Okay. I watched a contest, 2019, when Prempeh College were kicked out of the competition at the quarterfinal by Wesley Girls.
So that's when you said to yourself, oh, I'm going to be a part of this, and I'm going to make a difference. And indeed, you've made a difference. Yes. How has celebration been like for you guys since Friday? What have you been up to by way of celebration? Yes, Uncle George.
Celebration has been spectacular because you see a lot of people trying to come around Prempeh College, celebrating with us. Even those who are far and near, they try to enjoy in this celebration. So we are most grateful. Even our parents, more especially the parents of these kids, they will call in, what are you doing with my kids? I want you to release them for me so that I can celebrate with them. People want to see them. So it's very enjoyable. So
they've become kind of popular right now because they've been on social media, they've been on television, they've been all over. And now they are the champions for the 2021 edition of the National Science and Maths quiz. Are people able to identify you when you step out there? I know you have not been out too much, but the little places that you visited, how have people received you?
Okay, we've gone to a couple of places and almost always people usually want to take pictures
with you.
So they are very glad to see us.
I see. So what's the plan going forward? What else do you intend to do? I mean, I'm sure that you would definitely go and visit Utumfo, won't you?
Definitely, but we have to see the regional director of education, and then he will pave the way for us to see Utumfo and other places that we want to. Normally, Old Boys. We will also go to Accra.
And go to what in Accra?
So we have a lot of Old Boys there who are yearning to see the trophy. So that is our next step. If after visiting Utumfo, that will be our next step.
So going forward, what's the plans? What does the future look like for you? Okay. What do you intend to do?
I'd like to continue my education by reading medicine and also continue to become a doctor.
To become a doctor. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Wish you well, and I know you can achieve it easily. Yes, sir. What about you?
I ain't saying. I also want to become a medical doctor in the future.
Say it. What do you want to say? Add to it. What do you want to say? Feel free.
Oh, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Why do you want to become a doctor?
Okay. Just like when I was in primary, I actually wanted to take part in the National Science and Maths quiz team and win. When I was in primary, I learned about the HIV/AIDS disease, and I also was shocked to hear that nobody has actually discovered a cure for that. So, being that bold at that time, I dared myself that I would actually be the first person to find a cure to a certain particular disease prevalent in the world or affecting many people. So that's why I'm actually wanting to be a medical doctor in the future.
That's a big one, huh?
A very, very big one.
And I can tell you that my prayers are with you.
Thank you very much.
And there's nothing that is beyond you. You can attain it. Hard work pays. And once you've committed and dedicated yourself to work hard enough to win this beautiful trophy that is in front of you, I'm certain that the sky is the limit, or even beyond the skies are the limit for you. So thank you very much for
Joy Prime, the ultimate experience.
greatest, and they're glad they made it. They are the greatest here in Ghana when it comes to the National Science and Maths Quiz, because they are the champions for the 2021 edition. And this young man here says he wants to become, a doctor. He also wants to become a doctor and, of course, find a cure for a disease that has no cure yet. What about you, sir?
I also want to become a medical doctor.
You also want to become a medical doctor? A gynecologist or something?
Oh, no, really.
Which kind of doctor would you want to be? Which area of specialty?
A surgeon.
A surgeon. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. So when you listen to these young ones and you hear them say what their dreams are and all, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes us feel very, very happy. It makes us feel very, very happy. I hope, though, that the medicine they want to do is really, really what they want to do. We have a program, the mentorship sessions, which used to be part of the NSMQ because we felt that these students at this stage in life needed proper career guidance. And the idea is to give them exposure to the wide range of career choices that a background like this opens up for them. We moved it to form part of the STEM Festival this year for a number of reasons. But we think that perhaps from next year we should do a session just for them to coach them a little better so that when they're taking the decision that they want to do medicine, they know exactly why.
What do you think normally would account for a change in such a dream? What would cause a change?
Sometimes it's not, it's lack of proper information as to what exactly pertains in the job. When you say you want to be a medical doctor, what does that really mean for you in terms of your educational path, in terms of even the day-to-day life, of a medical doctor? What does that mean? Sometimes we don't have adequate information and we don't realize that there are a number of things that we could do. Even when you say a medical doctor, there are so many lines. And you were asking whether he wanted to be a gynecologist. He says he wants to be a surgeon, but he hasn't said what kind of surgeon. A neurosurgeon? Or, there are so many different kinds of surgeons. And that's what that program seeks to do, to open your horizons as to what the possibilities are with a background in science and maths.
Whatever it is, they are going to be very useful to this country and to the society.
And they're going to do well.
Most definitely, most definitely. But this whole event couldn't have been successful without the sponsors who are behind you. What would you want to say to them?
I'd like to say a really, really big thank you to all of them. They've been phenomenal. A program like this has demands a lot of technical and logistic support. It's immense. And so we would like to start with the Ghana Education Service. They are the main sponsors of the program. So their sponsorship goes beyond just the financial. They also facilitate, other things that we need to do for the program to come on. And so a very big thank you to the Ghana Education Service and to the Ministry of Education for the support. Next in line is our partner, Absa Bank, Ghana Limited. I want to say a really, really big thank you to Absa Bank. They sponsored the regional and zonal championships. So 8 regional and zonal championships, the money zone, and then the prize for excellence. And we are really grateful to them. To go for the Go Radio Bonanza, Prudential Life Insurance for the NSMQ Star, Etel Tigo for the highest scorer award. I'm sure you won some of those awards during your journey to the finals. I would like to say a really big thank you to Dano Milk, to Academic City University College, Accra College of Medicine for the scholarships that they are giving to some of our contestants. I'd like to say a really big thank you to Joy Industries, to Multimedia, under which Joy News, Joy Prime, My Joy Online, Love FM, all of you operate. We couldn't have done this without you. You've been with us every step of the way, from the regional competitions all the way to the finals, giving us technical support, giving us publicity, exposure, and everything. Your support is immense, and it means the world to us. And we thank you very much for all that you've done for us. So thank you to YFM also for the support that they give, to Third Eye Care Center, I'd like to say a big thank you also to the non-corporate sponsors. We have individuals who are giving us sponsorships or prizes also. So before I go to that, say thank you to Kenya Ways and Adanse Travel for the all expenses paid, a 1 week all expenses paid educational trip to Dubai through Nairobi. The champions are going to enjoy that at the beginning of January. And then we want to say thank you to the Bountiful family for the Jacob and Elizabeth Bountiful Memorial Award for the school with the most impressive run. So that went to Canton. I want to say thank you to Zipline for the internship that they are giving to Canton SHS. Thank you to Mr. Bubune Adi for the Prof. Irama Adi Memorial Prize, to Mr. Eugene Ahen for his prize, for the Speed Prize, to the Iro Foundation for the prize to the finalists. It was a cash prize of $400. So I want to say thank you to them. Thank you. It just shows that you don't have to be a big corporate entity to contribute to the students, that you can do that anyway. Newmont Ghana gave 20,000 Ghana cedis to the top female team that went to Wesley Girls High School, and then to what they call the Golden Journey. So that went to Canton for how far they went. They're a lesser known school or a less endowed school that was able to go to the quarterfinal and did very well, ending with 30 points in their quarterfinal contest. So we want to say thank you to all of them. I want to give a special mention also to some of the support systems that we have in place. I'd like to say a very big thank you to KNUST, starting from the Vice Chancellor all the way down. They were really, really wonderful, really helpful to us. We are, very appreciative of all the support that they gave us. I want to say thank you to Studio HD, then to, have I mentioned GTP yet? Thank you to GTP. GTP has for over 12 years, certainly, been providing our quiz mistresses and our other functionaries like myself with the beautiful fabrics that you see, and we want to say a very big thank you to them for their support. I want to say thank you to Millie Designs and Zoe Clothing also. They've also given us support, and Hottie Makeup also for giving us a little, as much as they could give within their means. So thank you to everybody. It's been wonderful working with you.
Well, thank you so much, Nanekia. And of course, we can't wait for the next edition. That's in 2022.
Right.
We can't simply just wait for the next edition.
Yeah, we can't wait either. The Cape Coasters have also started their campaign. So
to
they
host,
want
to host.
to host.
Well, maybe they are believing in that if you host, you can win. So host and win, like happened on Friday. So maybe
their team was a very, very, very strong team. And if you stay cool, I always tell the students that the team that wins is the one that doesn't crack under pressure. So on that day, that was it.
Well, when I threw in that question as to how they felt when for the first 3 rounds Presec was leading, they said they took it calm. I was rooting for them. And I was sitting behind my television and I was praying. It's just like I pray when Black Stars is playing against some team where we're not doing too well and yet I want us to win and all. I was praying feverishly and was wondering where the magic was going to come from. So when during the mathematics thing, they got all 10 points. I was like, okay, so we're getting there. And then round 4, they led, and then Charlie went on from there to winning the trophy. Thank you very much for making us proud here in the Ashanti region. We're glad and we're proud of you guys. But I cannot allow you to leave the studios without singing your school anthem. All right? So with pride and with joy, like I often say, we'd like for you to sing for us your school anthem. Okay? You ready? Yeah. So let's do this on 3. All right? So 1, 2, 3. Please sing. No, hold on. Where's the energy?
I knew that was going to happen.
Where's the energy?
Someone has to give the tune.
So, you haven't eaten this morning? Now you're being treated like princess and stuff with Charlotte. Give me some vim, all right? So on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sing like winners. Let's hear you. Go.
Amamfo, arise and shine. Students of Prempeh College, training love for truth and excellence, to build in us a masculine pride a motto inducing us the love of God. Arise and shine, students of Prempeh College, training love for truth and excellence, to build in us a masculine pride, a motto inducing us the love of God. To serve our nation, clean and strong. To serve our nation, clean and strong. So by name, dear, it reigns. Character and integrity, 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 character and integrity. Amen for. Raise your voices loud. Raise your voices loud and sing. Glorious Prempeh College and sing. Glorious Prempeh College.
So thank you very much, guys, and I think they deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much. And keep the fire burning, all right? Keep the fire burning. So this is where we draw the curtain on our conversation with the champions of the National Science and Maths Quiz 2021. And they are Eden Danache Obing, Ivan Sopong, and Abdul Majid Abdullah. God bless you, and may all your dreams come to pass. And to, of course, our quiz mistress, Professor Elsie Ifa Kaufman, thank you very much for your presence. And to you, you are so you're too much. Let me put it that way. You're simply too much. Nana Ikia Ankoma Asari. Thanks for being here as well. Until some other time when we come up your way again, we'll say thank you very much.
Joy Prime, the ultimate experience.